No one saw Kale wake before the sun. No crowd waited for him. No drums played. No one promised that his work would matter. There was only cold stone, a fading fire, and the voice inside him asking one simple question. Why keep going? Kale was not the strongest warrior in his kingdom. He was not the fastest. He was not the most celebrated. And when he first trained beside the others, he fell more times than he could count. He missed the target. He lost his balance. He broke things that stronger warriors made look easy. Every failure gave him a reason to stop. Every bruise offered him an excuse. And every night, when the training grounds became quiet, the easy path waited for him. Rest, comfort, distraction. Nobody would have blamed him for choosing it. But Kale began to understand something. The battle was never only outside him. It was inside. One voice told him to wait until he felt motivated. Another voice told him to train anyway. One voice said, "You are tired." The other said, "Then take one more step." One voice promised comfort. The other promised growth. And every morning, Kale had to choose which voice would lead. So he trained when nobody watched. He rose while the barracks slept. He practiced the same movement until his hands ached. He climbed stone stairs with heavy weight on his shoulders. He stood in the rain. He missed another arrow. Then, he picked up another arrow. He did not train for applause. He trained because he was tired of being controlled by his excuses. That is what discipline really is. It is not a loud feeling. It is not a perfect morning routine. It is not a burst of confidence that arrives at the right time. Discipline is a quiet promise. A promise you keep when nobody is there to remind you. Days became weeks. Weeks became seasons. Kale walked through storms that made every road disappear. He crossed narrow bridges while fear pulled at his feet. He entered crowded places where comfort looked more attractive than purpose. And still, he kept returning to the work. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just consistently. There were days when he wanted to quit, days when he felt behind, days when he looked at other warriors and wondered if they had been born stronger than him. But he kept training, because comparison did not sharpen his sword. Practice did. Because envy did not make him better. Repetition did. Because waiting to feel ready only made him wait longer. Then one night, Kale entered a dark cave. Inside, he faced the enemy he had been avoiding. Not another warrior, not a monster, himself. The shadow before him had his face, his fear, his anger, his impatience. It carried every excuse he had ever believed. You are not ready. You are not enough. You should rest. You can start tomorrow. At first, Kale fought the shadow with his sword, but the harder he fought, the stronger it became. Then he remembered the rain, the mist meadows, the empty amphitheater, the long stairs, the nights when nobody watched. He understood that his strength did not come from one great victory. It came from every small choice he had made when quitting would have been easier. So Kale stopped running from the shadow. He stood still. He breathed. And he chose discipline again. The shadow did not disappear because Kale became fearless. It disappeared because fear was no longer in control. That is the lesson most people miss. You do not need to destroy every weakness inside you. You need to stop letting it make your decisions. You do not need to feel confident before you begin. You need to begin before confidence arrives. You do not need a perfect plan. You need one honest action. One workout, one page, one difficult conversation, 1 hour without distraction, one promise kept. Kale returned to the same training ground where he once fell. The rain came again. The stone was still cold. The world had not become easier. But Kale had changed. He no longer needed anyone to watch. He no longer needed anyone to believe in him first. He understood that real progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The work you do in private becomes the strength people see in public. The days you show up without motivation become the identity you carry forever. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is not win a battle. Sometimes, it is waking up when every part of you wants to stay down. So when nobody is watching, train. When nobody is cheering, keep going. When nobody believes in you yet, build the proof quietly. Because the warrior you become tomorrow is being shaped by the choices you make today. No one watched Kale train, but one day, everyone saw what his discipline had built. Your own training ground may look different.